Now, your 41 NBC AccuWeather forecast, presented by Volume Chevrolet.
Well, welcome back. Not much going on with our radar, but again, it did find to be an interesting development that they put out such a widespread area in a flood watch. Look at this, going all the way from middle parts of Tennessee through a large chunk of Alabama and a good portion there of southern Mississippi and even down into Louisiana. So as this cold front moves in, of course, they do have their severe weather concerns, but now you're adding another twist to it. Flash flooding concerns. Now, notice that there is no such watch for us here in the Peach State. This thing should be losing some steam as it moves in heading into Saturday. And we'll get to that a little more a little later on. Not too bad of an evening. We'll be keeping it very mild. Temperatures are going to stay in the low 70s and the upper 60s for a while. In fact, mainly the 60s, right? We're going to be still in the 60s for a lot of us past midnight. There may be a couple spots that don't even go below 60 tonight. 55, so I'm thinking for the low in Macon. Wind will be light out of the south-southeast. Fog will be possible, and skies overhead should be partly cloudy, but these are 15 to 20 degrees above the average in terms of our low temperatures for this time of year. A lot of those might be closer to that 15 mark, but again, we're all going to be at least 15 above the normal. So very, very warm night. We continue to see a lot of cloud cover around the region. Now I'm thinking tomorrow could be kind of similar to how yesterday was. There's going to be a decent amount of sun through the afternoon. You can see all this rain starting to fire up as we go throughout the late parts of the afternoon and the evening for your Friday in Mississippi and Alabama. Now we go into Saturday. Notice that it looks a lot less intense as it's coming into Georgia than it did further west. And a large reason for that is the low pressure on Friday will be over Arkansas and Oklahoma. On Saturday, more towards the eastern part of the Great Lakes, Lake Erie, New York, so a lot farther away from where these storms are going on for your Saturday than where they are on Friday, which helps to reduce that severe threat. So they still have not gone level 3. They've kept it at 2, and I think a big reason for that is, and we actually talked about this with Georgia last week before the last weekend, overnight rain into the next day. The longer that goes on, the more it stabilizes the atmosphere and helps to inhibit severe weather potential. So that's what we're seeing over in Mississippi heading into tomorrow afternoon. Now, let's leak forward for us here in Georgia. Cloud cover, again, it's still remaining pretty dominant. A stray shower or two possible this evening, but the odds are definitely not very high for that. Your Friday, a mix of sun and clouds through the afternoon. Now, notice that wind picking up as the sun comes up. We go into lunchtime. The gusts are going to be in that 15 to 20 mile per hour range. But you see that heading into our Friday evening, a lot of this rain is camped off to the northwest. Perhaps a couple of showers could be possible in northwestern counties, but most of us will keep it dry until we get into Saturday. Now, we wake up Saturday morning, a lot of cloud cover. It's going to be very warm, low to mid 60s. And then we see these showers, couple thunderstorms moving in during the afternoon. And it just doesn't look very intense. A lot of this looks like it's going to be showers. Now look, there's plenty of heat and moisture, but with that low pressure being up towards the Great Lakes, that pulls a lot of the dynamics away from this, which helps to mitigate the threat. And you see the level 1 includes the two-thirds of the northwestern parts of the region, with the other third in that level 0. Main concern, couple of damaging wind gusts. The odds for a tornado very, very slim, not quite 0, but again, this thing losing steam the way it's expected to moving in should be boding pretty well for us. Your extended forecast is coming up in 10 seconds. Your 41 NBC AccuWeather 7-day forecast is brought to you by Volume Chevrolet. So as you can see, a couple showers possible tomorrow evening, but the better chance will be Saturday, almost 100%. And look, if the line is holding together decently well, we all ought to at least get rain, but it's going to be pretty scary in nature as it comes in more than likely. Then once the front passes, that is a relative high on Sunday. The actual will be after midnight, should be low 60s. I like to go with what's affecting you in the afternoon. High temperatures next week, cooler than lows from this week. Might want to check your faucet Sunday night.